En 1961, le premier astronaute américain est Alan Shepard. Il fait partie du premier programme spatial américain, Mercury, qui sera suivi de Gemini puis Apollo. Le 4 octobre 1957, l'Union soviétique lançait Spoutnik 1, le premier satellite artificiel. Cela a brisé la confiance américaine dans sa supériorité technologique, créant une vague d'anxiété connue sous le nom de crise Spoutnik. Parmi ses réponses, le président Dwight D. Eisenhower a lancé la course à l'espace. La NASA est créée. C'est le lancement du projet Mercury, qui visait à lancer un homme sur l'orbite terrestre, le ramener sain et sauf sur Terre et évaluer ses capacités dans l'espace. La NASA a reçu l'autorisation d'Eisenhower de recruter ses premiers astronautes parmi les pilotes d'essais militaires. Les états de service de 508 diplômés des écoles de pilotes d'essai ont été obtenus auprès du département de la Défense des États-Unis. Parmi ceux-ci, 110 ont été trouvés qui répondaient aux normes minimales. Les candidats devaient avoir moins de 40 ans, posséder un baccalauréat ou l'équivalent et mesurer 1,80 m ou moins. Shepard fut informé de sa sélection le 1er avril 1959. Le 5 mai 1961, Shepard pilote la mission Mercury Redstone et devient la deuxième personne, et le premier Américain, à voyager dans l'espace. Il a nommé son vaisseau spatial, Mercury Spacecraft.
A knight in the silvery armor of the space age, astronaut Alan B. Shepard Jr., 37-year-old Navy commander, on the memorable day when an American takes his first step into space on the road that leads to the moon. The 65-foot gantry elevator takes him on the ride up to the greenhouse level of the gantry, which encloses the Mercury capsule in a green fiberglass shield. The hour is 5:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at Cape Canaveral. In the remaining minutes before dawn, the Redstone rocket poised, Shepard will enter the capsule. A final friendly exchange with a fellow astronaut. Transparent galoshes to keep out dust removed from his heavy-soled silver-colored boots. And then he climbs into the form-fitting couch like sliding into a tight shell. The countdown is proceeding, but there will be delays. 3.5 hours before finally, at 9:34, old more spacious than a telephone booth, but actually controlling his flight in space and reporting back by radio contact with the Mercury Control Center every detail of his memorable 15-minute, 302-mile ride.
Everything still looks A-OK. All systems are go. All systems are go. Periscope is coming out. Periscope coming out, huh? Cloud cover over Florida, 3 to 4 tenths near the eastern coast. Obscures up to Hatteras.
Retro rockets are fired. The capsule begins the process of re-entering the atmosphere. The capsule's heat shield glows red from friction. Shepard has withstood the maximum stress of 11 times the force of gravity. Within seconds, the main parachute is floating the capsule to the ocean beneath, presumably with no more force than if it had fallen off a 14-foot wall. And Shepard still reporting all is A-OK. Later in Washington, D.C., that triumph is hailed by the nation. Astronaut Shepard and his wife, the President and First Lady, and Vice President Johnson at the White House, where the hero of the hour humbly and modestly accepts the accolades. He would share the glory with the hundreds of persons who helped achieve the space victory.
We have been working approximately 2 years, as you know, because of the press coverage which we've had, on a devoted effort to put a man in space. And it is really to these hundreds of people that the accolades of today should go.
A civilian award for a great civilian accomplishment. President Kennedy calls the Distinguished Service Decoration awarded to Shepard by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. The informality is apparent. Even as to the nation, the traditional well done is giving way to the A-OK. the now familiar rocket jargon that means double okay.
It's a lovely day, isn't it?
There is also a warm, heartfelt greeting from the ordinary folk of Washington, who with legions of Americans had prayed as Shepard ventured into the heavens on his giant stride across the space frontier. Along the parade route of America's presidents and heroes, Shepard rides to the Capitol. Flanked by friendly, smiling faces, applauding his star-spangled performance, he recalls at this moment, no doubt, the moments of solitude in him in Washington, where he climaxes his day of days with a news conference. We find him eager to share the limelight with his family. And with his fellow astronauts. In a very brief reply to a newsman's question, he sums up his reactions to the historic flight.
What was the worst part of your flight?
I don't think we had any bad moments at all, as I recall.
And there is general agreement that astronaut Shepard, he's A-OK.
Shepard a effectué son deuxième vol spatial en tant que commandant d'Apollo 14 du 31 janvier au 9 février 1971. Il s'agissait de la troisième mission d'atterrissage lunaire réussie des États-Unis. Shepard a piloté le module lunaire Antares. Il est devenu le cinquième, à l'âge de 47 ans, le plus âgé des hommes à marcher sur la Lune, et le seul des astronautes de Mercury 7 à le faire.
America's vast expenditure on the conquest of space certainly begins to look well worthwhile as the Apollo 14 mission successfully puts the 5th and 6th men on the moon. They're bringing back the largest ever haul of lunar samples and scientific data. Astronauts are a rare and distinguished breed. Alan Shepard, Stuart Rooser and Edgar Mitchell, the crew of Apollo 14, have proved it yet again. Their extensive training enabled them to put right several last-minute malfunctions. In an unmanned craft, this would have meant abandoning the program. But the crew's courage, their confidence and their unflappability would count for little were it not for the tireless team at Mission Control. Their guidance, advice and ultimate control is essential. Their vigils almost as tense and exhausting as that of the explorers themselves. The countdown over, Apollo 14 has liftoff. 3 more men are bound for the wonders of another world. "47-year-old Shepard, a space veteran and the oldest man to set foot on the moon, embarks with Mitchell on the kangaroo hop that was to be the longest moonwalk. Thick dust hampered their progress in the lunar Fra Mauro Valley, and although they couldn't complete the ascent of the Cone crater, otherwise they achieved all they'd set out to do. While Major Rooser was to orbit 70 miles above them in the command ship Kitty Hawk, Shepard and Mitchell were to trundle their wheeled vehicle over the crusty's surface. This, of course, is only a rehearsal of that vital task. In only a few years, the unbelievable has become reality. Already we've come to accept it, perhaps a little too readily. The step into space must be hailed as one of man's greatest achievements. Only the future can show if it's the most rewarding.
Alan Shepard, dont la mission a inauguré l'ère des vols spatiaux habités américains, a été le premier voyageur de l'espace à contrôler manuellement l'orientation de son vaisseau, le vol de Gagarine ayant été largement automatisé. Son vol ne dure qu'une quinzaine de minutes, mais il marquera l'histoire du pays à jamais.